this video, I'm gonna explain why the iPad Air 5th Gen, well, isn't what you thought it would be. Should you buy one? Maybe you're looking for an upgrade. Let's go ahead and help you decide. So buckle up, and let's see if you should spend your hard-earned cash on this iPad. Hey, you, part of that 98% watching this video that's not subscribed. Am I doing something wrong? Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know. But if you are enjoying this, go ahead and give me a subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next video. Now I want to break this down into a couple parts. First, should you upgrade from last year's iPad 4th Gen? Side note, I used to have an issue calling these just the number when Apple refers to them as a generation, but let's be honest, it doesn't really matter, and it's faster just to go by the number. So if that triggers you, look, I get it. So I'm just going with the numbers. Cool? So let's take a look at what is the same that might be important to you. They both have 10.9-inch displays, 2360 by 1640 resolution, i.e. they both look really good. Storage, both have 64 and 256 available. Touch ID. Why isn't this available on the iPhone yet? They both have the same battery size, same specs for the rear camera when shooting video. Although, don't be that guy who's holding up the iPad in public, especially if you have a phone. You got the dual speakers in landscape mode. If you have the Apple Pencil, both support the 2nd Gen version. And both of them do work with the same Magic Keyboard and Smart Keyboard Folio. And why is that? Because they're both the exact same size. So if you're looking to upgrade from the 4 to the 5, and some of these things you were hoping would improve, they're not, so I suggest you just go ahead and save your money. Now let's go ahead and move to the differences, and after that, I'll give you some more of the reasons why upgrading may or may not be needed. Okay, so if they have all of these things, what's different? Well, here we go. Short list. The 4 has the A14 chip, which is what's used in the iPhone. The 5 has the M1 chip, which is the same used in the Mac Mini, the MacBook Pro, and the iMac. Sort of. Now, while it's the same, yes, it's sort of different because it's still operating the mobile operating system apps that the 4 did. And in my opinion, they are already optimized pretty damn good already. For stuff like multitasking, you might see a slight improvement if that's important to you. While the rear camera specs are both 12 megapixels, the processing on the 5 is improved a little bit because of the updated M1 chip, which runs most of the camera. Now, it might be very subtle for some, but others may notice a difference, so it really is just up to your preference. Back to that multitasking thing, the 4 has 4 gigs of memory, and the 5 does have double 8 gigs of memory. Now this also helps with operating big applications as well as keeping them open longer in the background. The 4 front camera is a 7 megapixel standard lens. The 5 front facing camera is a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens with a feature called center stage that allows you to actually move around a little bit and the camera will follow you. It's a really cool feature. This might be important for some of you, others may not, but I want to mention it. The 4 has what's called the Usbc 3.0 port, that's the plug at the bottom, and the 5 has a USB-C 3.1. What's the big difference? Well, this allows for faster charging and transfer speeds along with you being able to operate a bigger display. But let's be honest, if you're using an iPad and you're using a larger display that you're spending a lot of money on, it'd be more than the iPad, and you probably have a computer it's there, so I had to mention it. Now, while both iPads do have cellular support, the 4 has just LTE 4G support, and the 5 has 5G. But it's only as good as your provider, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it still sucks most of the time, so that shouldn't be a deciding factor. Oh, and new colors. I mean, I usually have a skin on mine or a case. I mean, if this matters to you, this is what we got. The 4 has space gray, silver, rose gold, sky blue, and green. Now, while the 5 has space gray, starlight, pink, purple, and blue. Now, I will admit that the colors on the back of the 5 are a little deeper and do pop more. But again, this should not be a reason to upgrade. So why should you upgrade from the 4? Well, if you really need more space and you only got the 64 gig variant, then of course moving up that 256 will help for more than one reason. Oh, side note, if paying the extra coin just doesn't appeal for you, I have seen places like Costco selling the 4 256 gig at $5.99. This is the same price that the 5 is with just 64 gigs of storage. So check around. Now, of course, this does apply for older generations as well, but don't think your only option is to upgrade to that 5. If money is an issue, then the 4 is a great choice, especially if you need more storage. Also, if you experience lag when running apps and doing daily tasks, then going from that 4 to 8 gigs should help that, and make sure that you have plenty of storage space, because if you're short on the storage and you think that it's the memory that's slowing you down, it could be the fact that you've got too much on there, and if that fills up, it slows it down. So I refer back to the storage thing. Also, in older generations, the memory just drops each year too. The 3 had 3 gigs of memory, the 2 had 2, so on and so forth. Same thing goes with the storage specs. I think at one point it was 16 gigs and 32, so you know, if you're rocking one of those, then definitely moving up to the 4 is going to be a huge new world. Another reason to get the 4 or the 5 is the new design. No more home button. Now, if you like the fingerprint sensor, it is on the power button, which I mentioned earlier, and works really, really well. If you use your iPad a lot to shoot front-facing video, or you're on FaceTime a lot with meetings, the wider angle, improved specs, as well as that center stage feature are going to make your experience way better. And just because we mentioned the other stuff, the improved USB-C port and 5G on the 5, I mean, look, they both have great battery life, and I still think 5G is a gimmick. Don't at me. So getting the 5, if you already have the 4, isn't gonna make your life 100 times better. It's not this life-changing experience that it would be. You would be just as happy sticking with that and maybe waiting a generation or 2. If you've got an older iPad, yeah, you can get the 5. I don't see why it's that big of a deal, but if you want to save a few bucks, the 4 is going to do exactly what you need. Everyone likes to call these a mid-year upgrade or a mid-upgrade. Yes, I know it went from that mobile chip to the M1, but honestly, what they've done with the iPads and with the iPhones with those A chips, it really is just the next step in evolution, I think, for these M1s. They were already doing it on the phones and the iPads. They're pretty special to begin with. That's why I think we didn't see such a huge jump in performance. Is it awesome? Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. But it's not worth the money between what the 4 offers and what the 5 offers. Now, if money isn't an issue and you want to get the iPad 5 from the 4, then you probably haven't even made it this far in the video. Now, I also did a video comparing the Air 4 versus the Air 5 in a speed test. This could also help you decide which to get and kind of go more into what I was talking about. Go ahead and check out that video right here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and you guys have a great day.